channel. So as you can tell by the title of this video, we're here with another book review. So today we will be reviewing Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. And let me tell you, when I was reading this book, there were so many times I literally started to think about after. I was like, bruh. But the thing is, I wasn't expecting to actually like the book. Yes, guys, I like the book. You guys are probably like, Raven, there's abuse in the book. How the hell do you like this book? Well, let me tell you, the reason that I like the book is because I feel like with Travis and Abby's relationship, we got to grow and we got to follow their relationship with them. It was something where I felt like it was an emotional buildup. Like I understood how Abby and Travis fell in love with one another, you know? Like I got to grow and I got to watch with them, which is something that I wish that we had in After, where it could kind of like make me understand why Hardin and Tessa liked each other so much and they belong together. But I felt it here in Beautiful Disaster when I was reading it. Like, let me tell you, there were times I had laughed, y'all. I had the ugliest laugh ever too. Like the ugly laughs. I was confused to why people didn't enjoy it, because I'm like, this is so good. Like the emotional buildup that I want was right there. I seen it clear as day, you know? But I'm not going to say that the book was all like hearts and rainbows and butterflies and all that crap. No, it wasn't, because there was definitely some form of emotional abuse in the series. And we're going to get to that in a moment. But let me go ahead and start off by telling you what the book is about. So the book is about this girl named Abby. She's a freshman in college. She is originally from Vegas and she has like a troubled past. Like it was such a problematic past that she moved to try to escape from that lifestyle. And it starts off with her being at this underground fight around the campus, okay? And a prime example of this is, if you guys watch this show Riverdale, you guys know that Archie went to jail and he had to fight against other prisoners. It was pretty much like that. It was like a secret underground fight, like a secret society type of thing, and they call it like the circle or whatever. And so there was this guy named Travis. He is untouchable. People cannot beat him up. He always wins. He never loses. He's just the real deal, okay? So this is how Travis makes his money. So he could afford his home. He could afford his cell phone bill, like pay all his bills. This is what's getting him through college. So he's doing pretty well, you know. He is like this bad boy type. He has a different girl every night. He's a player, and he does not commit to one female. He does not. Like I said, you never see this guy with the same girl more than once. So he is in the ring and he's fighting this guy, and he ends up punching this guy, and like blood splatters like off his face and gets all over Abby's cardigan. And this leads to Travis coming over to her and starting a conversation and apologizing to her. The next day they run into each other again, and from that point on they became inseparable. He started tutoring her. They became like best friends. They were always together, and this led to people around the campus to start talking. People started thinking like, hey, they're in a relationship, because you never see Travis with the same girl more than once. And so all eyes was always on them. Rumors were spreading really, really quickly. And the more that they started to spread, the more aggravated that Abby became. She really tried to push him away because she didn't want to be acknowledged as one of his hoes like these other girls. All the other girls he sleep with are hoes. And this is one thing that was the problematic for me in this book, is because there's definitely slut shaming, okay? She's like, I'm not like that. She made it clear when she first met him she is not having sex with him, and he's like, okay, like that's fine. but they still grew this friendship, and he felt like he needed to be around her. They were like, he was doing things that he never did for other people or other females. Like, for instance, if they would go to a bar and say he's like, oh, give me 2 drinks or whatever, you know, give me 2 tequilas. And then one is for her and one is for him. Like, it was a whole scene where he was at a bar and he was talking to a female, and Abby kind of got jealous. Like, you know, even though she's like trying so hard to push him away, she got jealous. And then she went over there and he put the glasses down, and the girl thought that the glass was for her, and he's like, oh no, this is not for you, this is for her. And so Abby just like drunk it in front of the girl's face, like, And I was like, dang, Abby, it's like that, like, that's so mean, girl. But I mean, like, it was mean. It was very, very mean. And I'm just like, bruh, y'all can't be doing that. Y'all are some mean people. And Travis, like, to me, I feel like after reading reviews online about the book, that it was so easy to point fingers at Travis as being so problematic. Like, he's the emotional abuser. And I felt like when it came to their relationship, they both were abusing one another emotionally. And he was doing it more so in the fact that he didn't want her wearing certain things because he didn't want attention to be drawn at her that way. And then he always would say like, no, like, what if a guy approaches you or he do something, then I'm going to go to jail or whatever. And I'm like, Travis, you don't have to fight everybody. You don't have to fight everybody. Use your words to make your point. Like, you don't. You can argue with your words. Don't go around just hitting everybody. And that's the kind of person that Travis is. And I feel like it's more so because he's a violent person. Like, he always feels like he has to fight. But in the series, it was like whenever he was fighting, it was more so to do it for work, or it was to defend her honor. And so, but I felt like 2 of those times when it was like he was defending her honor, he could have just simply talked and not fought. That's all I'm saying, Travis. That's all you had to do. But the 3rd time, for sure, like, I understand he's doing what he had to do to help his woman out. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. Like, I swear, their relationship was so cute to me. Like, guys, it was so freaking adorable. I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyways, but yeah, I feel like they're pointing it out on him as being an abuser because, like, he's a male. And we know in, like, the real world, like, it's like we always push the male as being, like, the abuser. He's the problem. And it's like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm just trying to say that sometimes when it comes to abuse, it's not treated equally. So that's just pretty much how I feel. I felt like she was abusive as well emotionally. And she was doing things where it was like, yo, Abby, that was real fucked up. Like, the whole scene when she had sex with him, like, she lost her virginity to him, right? And I feel like she was, like, leading him on. She's leading 2 guys on at the same time, Parker and Travis. And it's like, you're in bed with Travis, you're kissing on him, you're telling him everything will stay the same, nothing's going to change, and then you want to have sex with him, and he's just like, no, like, I don't want to have sex like this. And you're just like, you're ready to have sex. So then you go and have sex with him, and you making him believe that you guys are together because he's already been showing you his interest for a while at this point, you know, and he's not even fighting as much as he used to anymore because he spends his whole time with you. Like, he's always with you. He's thinking about you. He's that kind of guy, like, oh, I'm out, so I'm gonna get some food, and here's some food for you, you know, type of stuff. But if it was like another female, he's not going to bring food home for no other female. He's just bringing it home because he likes you. Like, he was doing so much stuff to show that he was a good guy. And he kept saying, like, throughout the series, like, you know, I did this, I did that, and blah, 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 and you still don't trust me? Like, I'm not trying to have sex with you. And she felt some type of way about it, but at the same time, she was relieved. But it was just more so, he was willing to wait for her until it got to that point. And they both had feelings for each other, but they both were too scared to open up and own it, you know? So when she had sex with him, and she knew that he was worried about their friendship because she's leaving out of his house now, and she's dating Parker, and for the past time that they've been to Parker and Abby been dating, she's basically been cutting Travis out, like distancing herself from him. And he just felt like left out, and he just knew that everything was going to change. And she just kept saying, like, it's not, it's not, it's not. And to prove that it wasn't, and also say her goodbye to him, was she went ahead and she had sex with him. And then when he fell asleep, that's when she got up and she went back to her dorm room in the middle of the night. And so when he woke up, he's expecting to see her there, and she's gone. So he's like throwing a temper tantrum, breaking shit and everything. And I'm just like, that was real fucked up of you, Abby. And then he does it again. Well, she does it again when they go to Vegas or whatever. And even though I understand like why she was mad to begin with, but it was like, you could have sat down and said, look, all she had to do was sit here and like, if you fight with Benny, I'm done. If you decide you won't work with him, I'm done. It's over. Like, literally sat down and said that. She did explain like the issue, why she had a problem. I was just irritated because Travis didn't think why she would be upset about him taking a job with Benny. But I just felt how she went about doing that whole situation, just dumping him like, oh, I gotta go do laundry. I don't know when I'm gonna be back. Let me get in the car. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. And then you look back at him one last time, and then there's a tear. And then he knows what's up. He knows at that moment you're leaving and you're not coming back. And then it leads to him going to your dorm, throwing a fucking temper tantrum, breaking the freaking dorm door, like into your room. Broke the door. And I'm like, holy shit. And she's not even in her room. So now it's just like her roommate got to put up with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that was just real fucked up. Like how she kept doing everything. And then it was like later on when she decides that they're going to get back together, and she falls asleep and she wakes up and he's just staring at her, and she notices his eyes is red. And she's like, did you not go to sleep? And he was like, no. And she's like, why didn't you go to sleep? You worried because I was going to up and leave you? And he was like, yeah. Like that emotionally scarred him because she has the habit of keep getting up and leaving him without saying like what the issue is. And it's like, I get that it's hard when you love someone, but like, you have to do things the right way. Like, you can't just run off. Like, that could scar people for life and cause more problems in his life. And the reason that Travis is the way that he is, he's not, like, open to women like that. He doesn't let women come in like that. Because the only other woman that he ever loved was his mother. And she passed away. And so it was like, this is a whole new woman that he just fell in love with, because she was different. She's not like the rest of the girls, and they grew to love each other. They got to know each other, like the ins and outs of basically each other. And she's up and leaving him too, and it's like abandonment. So then he's going to have abandonment issues, commitment issues, and he's not going to ever be able to fall in love or have anyone because you just fucked all that shit up, you know? But I definitely, so I'm saying that abuse in this came both ways. I'm not trying to justify anybody's actions. I'm just saying, like, I felt like he was being targeted because he's a male. And when it comes to abuse, sometimes it's not treated equally. It's just so easy to quit guilty because he's a male. So, yeah, that's what I felt like. he definitely did do some fucked up shit, like the whole threesome situation. It was just so rude. It was uncalled for. And I was just like, dude. And he realized that he was wrong. But then when he came back, he's like, he came home with like all her favorite foods to like cook for her and show how much he's sorry and that he cares for her and all that. And he comes out when he sees, all your stuff is not in my room. It's packed up. And she's like, I didn't pack it up. And at this point in time, they're not even in a relationship. They're just friends. And they're just staying together because it's a bet. So let me just tell you guys about this bet, okay? So with Travis being a fighter, he said that he's untouchable. The only reason people are able to get a hit in is because he lets them. And she's like, you're right. And he was like, okay, bet. So the bet was, if Abby wins and a guy, the opponent, hits him, that means she would win, and Travis has to be abstinent for an entire month. Now, if Travis did not get hit and he wins, that means that Abby has to stay with him for an entire month, because she was already staying with him because at her dorm they didn't have hot water. So Chaplin and Travis said it was cool for America and Abby to stay there at the apartment. And Travis grew comfortable with her sleeping in the bed. They didn't have sex or anything, but it allowed them to connect even more, you know? It was cute. It was cute. I was just like, okay, seriously, but it was still kind of cute, y'all. I'm just like, I was here for it. I don't care what anyone says. But now let's talk about some things that was like really unnecessary. So the whole thing with her dad and them going to Vegas in the first place, it was so unnecessary. I didn't like it. So basically the issue is with her dad, and this is also why she was running from her past, is because her dad is a famous poker player, right? And he was always winning. He was a legend. But then when his daughter turned 13 years old, all his luck lost, and he became like the worst poker player ever. He sucked. And he blamed his daughter, because now his daughter picked up on all the skills and she went in at these poker games. So he hated his daughter for it. He blamed her for him sucking at poker. He would do interviews, slander her name and everything. But he always had her go participate in these poker games, so that way she could win some money and this, that, and the other. And he would put up money that he didn't have and he owed people. And so he would have her to go play poker so she could win the money so he could pay back all his debts and stuff. And that's why she was running away. And I just felt like, wow, that is fucked up. And that is the reason that she had an issue anyways with Travis in Vegas decided he's going to work for Benny, is because Benny is like in the mob, you know. There's no saying no. He controls everything. The moment that you work for him and you're under his crew, he owns you. Okay? He owns you. And she didn't want that for her relationship with Travis. She didn't want that for Travis. She's trying to leave that all in the past. And her issue was, just like my father, you're going to work for this dude and you're putting money above me. That means I'm going to be number 2 in your life, and money will always be number 1. But Travis was looking at it like, babe, I'm doing it for us. Like, we could get us a place together. You need a car, I could get you a car. It's $6,000 per fight. So much. Like, this could benefit us so much. We could pay, you know, your college tuition. I could pay mine. Like, this would help us so much. And I'm gonna only do it for a year. But she was not having it. And he was not understanding why. So after he lost her, it was like it finally hit him why. But yeah. So let's talk about America and Chaplin. So America is Abby's best friend, right? But they're not roommates. They grew up together, but they're not roommates. And Abby later finds herself regretting that they're not roommates because she didn't want to be roommates with her. She felt like they need to be apart. They're always together, that they needed space sometimes, you know? And so America followed Abby there to this college, Eastern University, and pretty much she's dating this guy named Chaplin. Chaplin is related to Travis, right? Now, Chaplin suffered so much because of Travis. So whenever Chaplin's in a relationship with a girl, things is going fine, but it gets to the point where his girlfriend's best friend starts messing around with Travis, and we know how Travis is not like a relationship type of guy. He always kicks them to the curb, like, goodbye, go to the left. And this always caused problems for Chaplin's relationship. So it always leads to him ending up being single. And he originally did not want Abby and Travis to date because he felt like because of them, we're going to have issues. And we kind of start to see that a little bit. He like, see, I told you, America. I told you. Because America's like, no, she doesn't even like him like that. And then America was rooting for Travis and Abby's relationship because she was seeing the connection that they had. You know, you could look at them and you could tell that they have feelings for one another. And so she was kind of pushing it. And then, not Travis, but Chaplin is looking like, no, America, stop. This cannot happen. I told you this was going to happen. No, blah, blah, blah. And America's like, nothing's going to happen. Like, it's not. But it was interfering with their relationship. And that's where a lot of their problems came from, was because of Abby and Travis. So America is like, she's a really good friend. Like, she's always been there with Abby through everything, you know. But the more you continue on to go through the book, you really see that Travis really, really cares for you see how much Travis has changed and how much he loves Abby. They instantly, like, at the end of the book, they get married and she get a tattoo of his name. The person that I felt bad for in this series was Parker because he was always number 2 to Travis. But I felt like you had your suspicions. Like, you should have just went with it. Like, I'm not saying it's his fault, but she told you it wasn't like that. But I feel like sometimes, like, if she could put her friend first, because she made it seem like they were best friends. And yes, they were best friends. But when you keep putting that person first over you, then it kind of tell you like, hey, something else is going on. They may not have confirmed what it is and figured it out, but it's obvious. And I felt like it was hella obvious that they have feelings for one another, okay? A problem that I had with this book, for sure, besides the abuse and the slut shaming and everything, is the simple fact that I felt like this needed to be a high school setting, not a college setting, okay? Because one of the biggest issues that kept coming up was people were spreading rumors. People were in their business. People was always paying attention to Travis and Abby and Parker. And it was just like, are you serious right now? Like, are you serious right now? Like, college is not like that. I don't know, even if this is like a private college, a small college or whatever, I feel like it was just like such a high school setting and how they made it seem. Like at lunchtime, and I'll see you at lunchtime and in the cafeteria. There's no cafeteria in college. I mean, if you stay in the dorms, I know at least my college I went to, there was, in my dorms, we had a cafeteria. You could meet your friends like throughout the day to go get you some lunch, some breakfast or some dinner, whatever, right? But we had like a whole separate building which was called the Student Center, where when it was lunchtime, when you felt like getting some food, all you had to do was go in there to the student center. On the first floor, you would see a whole bunch of food courses. That's it. Like, how they made it seem was so high school. And when you're in college, nobody cares. Nobody pays attention. Oh, y'all breaking up, or he's with her this week and this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work like that. Nobody cares. Nobody pays attention to stuff like that. But it was making it like it was a big deal there. So I feel like this needed to take place in high school. Definitely not college. Because, or if it was going to be with college, then eliminate like the rumors. At least have it within your groups, like the rumors within your groups. Like how Hardin and Tessa had it, and after, like they had the rumors and stuff going within their group, not around like the whole campus, because you don't know everybody in campus or around the campus. Like it just doesn't. So that was annoying to me. Another thing, like I said, with the slut shaming and the disrespect that Travis had for women, like where he was using and abusing them, like he would have sex with them and then get rid of him. That was definitely out of line. I hated the simple fact that in general, when it comes to books, whenever it's about a bad boy, like he's the hottest guy and girls are throwing themselves at him and this, that, and the other. And I felt like that was definitely a form of slut shaming, because it's like he has a different girl every night, and then they refer to these women as sluts, hoes, bitches, you know, and all that stuff. And it's just like, can we not? It's just the use and abuse type thing that was just really, really pissing me off. But other than that, that's pretty much it on this book review. I really did enjoy the book. I think it was cute. It did have its problematics in the series, but I feel like I understand the dynamic of their relationship. I don't feel like their relationship was as toxic as Hardin and Tessa's, you know, because like you just kept seeing Travis being like this good guy. Like, you know, you just kept seeing it, and you wanted their relationship to work out. Like, this was the one thing, like, in this, like, I know when I was listening or reading other people's reviews, even though they didn't like it, they wanted to like Travis, and they wanted to like Abby, or they wanted them to work out. And that's what I like about it. Like, I wanted them to work out. I saw why they worked out and why everything is like Gucci for them.